Good afternoon, partners. I find it fascinating listening to interviews like that, and I'm sure we all do, hearing what our clients value most, what they find important, and what they feel creates, builds, and sustains a great working relationship. And that's the voice of the client. But what about the voice of the market? As Cindy mentioned this morning, it's a long time between drinks. We haven't actually got a great, insightful snapshot of the market opinion of Deloitte for several years. And so for the last several months, we've been working with market researchers Forethought, a specialist B2B agency, to undertake the most comprehensive and expansive analysis of market sentiment towards Deloitte and our competitors we've ever done in Australia. I'm going to take you through the results over the next few minutes, but I will say that the insights we got were both exhilarating and daunting, and they should give us all great confidence about the position we're in the market and excitement about our future. So why did we take this on, and why now? Well, as we've heard this morning, we're living in a new normal of constant change. The market's own needs of firms like ours is evolving. Clients are looking for different services, different ways of engaging with us. Our own new leadership has a new vision and a new paradigm-shifting strategy, which could have implications on the way that clients actually engage with us in the future. To deliver on our aspiration for a bigger market footprint with an ambitious 2020 growth plan, we need to get a really clear idea of how the market sees us. And that's why we've taken on this research. So Forethought worked with us to identify 75 key individuals in the market, and we sat them down. Well, we didn't sit them down. They spoke to Forethought. We wanted independent and objective interviewers, nothing to do with Deloitte. And they spoke to these people for an hour each and got anecdotal, qualitative insights into the way they see the market, the way they see it, where it's going, and what they see in businesses like ours. We also helped them select a range of cold, cool, and warm contacts for the business. Now, what do I mean by that? We wanted to talk to people who've never worked with Deloitte, or who worked with Deloitte several years ago and don't really have a relevant impression of what we are as a business today. And we wanted to talk to existing clients with very fresh and contemporary impressions of our business. That allows us to get a comparison of perception to reality and figure out the gap that we might have to cross in actually correcting misconceptions in the market of what we stand for. These people were fiercely independent. They ranged across the ASX 200, the top levels of state and federal government, as well as good representative sample of the middle market and the market for Deloitte Private. And we spoke to the highest echelons of Australian business, CFOs, CEOs, non-executive directors, some across several businesses, deputy secretaries, director generals, vice chancellors of public institutions. Of course, we represented and reflected our industry exposure with predominant focus on our three big areas of energy and resources, public sector, and financial services. And while we also worked hard to reflect a very real reflection of our gender balance of decision makers that we work with. Most importantly, we worked with some of the biggest names in Australian business. The people that spoke to us for an hour are highly connected, highly influential. We spoke to Catherine Livingstone, President of the BCA and Chair of Telstra, Ian Narev and Mike Smith, CEOs of two of our biggest banks, Martin Hoffman, Deputy Secretary of the Federal Department of Industry and Science, and Liz Cosson, COO of the Department of Health, Arlene Tansey, a non-executive director who is across several private businesses in New South Wales, as well as Infrastructure New South Wales. These people gave us their fearlessly independent, objective views. They're high achievers with billions of dollars of investment at their disposal and a long-term strategic vision of their business. They didn't hold back. They were forthright in giving us their opinion. So what was the first key insight? Well, the way the market actually sees professional services and the way that the buying decision is shaped, as Adam alluded, it's very interesting. It's a combination of reputation, performance, and price, or price competitiveness. What was really key, as Adam alluded, experience is not just important, it is seen as the most important factor in shaping the buying decision. What was really interesting was we also asked 75 of our own partners to get their views of what they thought was influencing that buying decision. Our own partners rated experience at less than half the importance that the market does. In fact, we rated our own most important factor as the technical competency of a project team, which didn't even rate on the radar of our clients, or way down the ladder. Obviously, factors like being a global leader, having a global dimension, partner credibility, which we'll cover in a few minutes, and the ability to partner with you for shared outcomes was very important. But this element of price was also interesting. It wasn't about cost. It wasn't about being cheap. It was about providing value for money, having impact on our client's business, and having the willingness to negotiate and craft fit-for-purpose pricing and business arrangements with our clients that were aligned with their long-term interests. That's what we mean by price. One of the key insights was that there's a Big Four club. And the club has huge regard amongst this business community. It's very highly respected. It comes with a set of associations of global connectivity, seriously smart people, intellectual rigor, trusted advisor status, accounting heritage. It's a very exclusive club to be part of. And it gets us a free pass. It gives us opportunities that our competitors in the second tier or the boutique strategy firms simply don't get hold of. One CEO says that we won't even consider playing with the second tier. We just won't do it. But with the downside is that, to one COO, the Big Four is all a bit beige. The work that we've done on creating distinction, we still have some ways to go. Having said that, there's an interesting perception of the market of our leaning towards advisory services. The advisory parts of risk, M&A, corporate finance, and of course consulting is seen to dominate Deloitte's offer against PwC's more even balance between advisory and the attest functions of tax compliance, statutory audit, and internal audit, whereas KPMG and EY are dominated by that side of the business. Now that's interesting because what these people feel is that audit legitimizes our membership of the Big Four. It's the backbone of our practice, and we need that strong audit presence and a considerable representative sample of the top 100, top 200 audits to retain that legitimacy within the Big Four. It opens up new areas to us which aren't otherwise afforded us. M&A transformation, finance transformation, M&A work. It's an expected slice of the pie that we have to fight hard to retain. That's relevant to everyone in this room, not just our auditors. Brand personality. So you'd expect to see our primary characteristics around words like these: pragmatic, digital, entrepreneurial, consulting, and technology. But once you actually drill down into the secondary characteristics, you see a number of human qualities like open-mindedness, trust, honesty, hunger. These are more human qualities which are associated with the experience of working with us. Remembering the importance of experience to the buying decision, these are critical factors. And when you actually compare ourselves to the other personality attributes of the Big Four, you start to see opportunity for differentiation, even if we're a little bit beige. And while EY probably are struggling to clarify what their brand stands for, it's not hurting them. But our own associations of entrepreneurialism, collegiality start to play through anecdotally in the way clients speak about us. Having skin in the game and being seen to be getting down and getting dirty in the execution of work. The diversity of thinking that our different personalities bring to a client's work, and the energy and enthusiasm that is said to be infectious to the staff of a client contact. So I'm going to show you a few charts now, and just to explain how this works. Well, number one, partner credibility. Isn't this a great slide? This slide means that this group of partners in the room is the best in the business, the best in Australia. Credibility is a combination of trustworthiness. Do I trust you to be aligned with the long-term interests of my business, and do you have my interests at stake? And industry expertise. Now, the way this chart works is the left-hand edge of the boxes represents the perception in the market, the people who haven't worked with us, and the right-hand side of the box is those who have. So the size of the box actually indicates the gap between perception and reality. In this case, we've done a pretty good job of communicating exactly what we deliver, in contrast to some of our competitors. In terms of delivering that engaging client experience, once again, we are out in front of the market. And in terms of shared outcomes, that idea of partnering with you for long-term, collaborating with you for co-created solutions at times, being engaged as equal partners, we are once again in front. In contrast to PwC, who have a situation of negative brand equity, they're literally people who have worked with PwC somehow have a lower opinion than those who have not yet worked with them. So on 5 more key dimensions, performance, reputation, quality, price, value, we lead. These key dimensions. Now, when we were presenting this work to the executive and the board, the initial reaction was almost disbelief. Now, how can this be true? They must be biased in some respects. Credit these people with their honesty and their diligence in investing an hour of their time to help us build a business for the future. They recognize that we are lagging in the 2 key areas of being a global leader and leveraging our global experience. It's probably unsurprising given our focus on getting our house in order in Australia over recent years, but the new executive is very focused on embracing that global network and bringing the best of the world to our clients. This is probably the most exciting slide of all. The combination, the dynamic intersection of price competitiveness, that value for money idea, and quality of experience puts us up in the corner, quantitatively speaking, of the market share gain. We should, by the data that we have gained from this research, be gaining market share. Now, over the last 10 years, we have grown our share of Big Four revenues within Australia. We've grown 8% at the expense of our 3 competitors, 4% for PwC, 3% for KPMG, 1% for EY. So what the data is telling us is actually true. We have the brand momentum. There's no place I would rather be than in the top right-hand corner or on this green dot. So this gives us a mandate for market leadership. And interestingly so, the insights delivered by the audience we spoke to said that the door is open for you to strike long-term strategic relationships with us. We need peer-to-peer relationships. Someone needs to own the CEO agenda. The door is open to Deloitte. We also found that our greatest unleveraged asset, the one with the greatest potential, Deloitte Access Economics, is seen as hugely respected in the market. The market struggles a little at times to think of how we commercialize it effectively, but the more we can do that, the more we'll glean the benefit of it. Flexible business models, the sorts of models that Andrew and John were talking about this morning, decoupled, innovative, collaborative, disruptive models. Our clients are very keen on doing that and seeing us leverage the global network to their benefit. nurturing our culture as a hub of creativity, of innovation, of energy and enthusiasm, never straying into the realm of the aloof or the arrogant. That's a part of the market that's already occupied. Equipping lead partners, recognizing that our partners are the brand interface. They do more than any other element of our business to shape the market's perception of Deloitte, and helping our partners navigate the full range of capabilities of our firm to bring the best to Deloitte. Embracing our heritage as a Big Four firm, having a point of view and projecting it on issues that are associated with Big Four heritage, tax reform, audit regulation, international standards, being proud and confident about that point of view while seeking distinction within the Big Four around those areas of personality and, most importantly, client experience, that combination of partner credibility and partnering for long-term shared outcomes. But most profoundly, the biggest takeaway of this research is that we should start to believe we are a leader and behave like a leader. That's how the market is seeing us. We need to transcend the underdog self-image that we've operated on for the last 10 years in following the market, and take our place as a leader, not defined by our competitors, but defined by the outcomes we shape, the impact that we make on our clients and in the market, defined by the ideas that we deliver, and for our clients, defined by a truly distinctive and memorable client experience. Thank you.